Today, our guest is a super special human being. Well, not just because she's one of us Mayoites, but because she's carved a niche for herself in the elite civil services. She's the Deputy Inspector General of Police Intelligence Uttarakhand. She's been awarded DGCRPF Commendation Disc, FICCI Smart Policing Award, and the Honorable Chief Minister Medal for Smart Policing. She's absolutely amazing at all the work that she does. And there's so much more about her, which I'm personally really curious to know. She passed out of Mayo College Girls' School in 1997. Who am I talking about? Well, Nivedita Kukreti. Hi, Nivedita Di. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Shruti. Thank you so much for inviting me over, and thank you for the lovely introduction.
I hope I've got everything correct, and I'm sure there's much more that so far you
It
must
couldn't
have
have been better. Believe me, I can't, when it comes for me to talk about myself, I wouldn't have introduced myself and so giving myself so many laurels. So thank you so much.
First of all, even before we begin, it's a huge milestone that your batch has crossed this year. You passed out of school in 1997 and your batch has finished 25 years since you guys passed out. So huge congratulations for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. 25 years away from school. It seems that it was just yesterday that we were in school,
Yeah.
and suddenly now we are 25 years. 25 years since we passed, all of us have our families, and our kids, a lot of my batchmates' daughters are studying there. So it's like a full circle.
Yeah, very recently. We also had a podcast with a couple of your batchmates. I think all the house captains, had come together and they told some really crazy stories from back in the day. So your batch was known to be one of the naughtiest batches. Now, the kind of work you're into right now, it's a bit strange to know that somebody from that batch is coming out and doing such good police work. So what were you like in school? Like, first tell me about that. And if today you met your batchmates, the same, troublemakers, what would you do to them?
None of the trouble was intended. The intention behind it was never bad. It was just fun. I mean, in fact, that podcast basically made me relive so many memories of, I was in the arts section, humanities section.
Right.
So Hima and Savri, all these guys, they were all my batchmates.
Yeah.
So that section was full of fun. We had the naughtiest girls amongst us. I think I was a very quiet girl who was just with herself, and I loved playing and debating. I mean, these were the two things I was into, which I really enjoyed. And cricket, cricket was something which I used to play, and I was in the team also, and we used to go out together. So there was another, apart from having fun in the school, we had this group of girls who were all of us. We used to go out for interstate and interdistrict championships. So it was on the whole a lot of fun. I think my batchmates, if they meet me right now, quite a few of them have met me. They say that I haven't changed. I'm still, the same.
Oh, that's nice. That's lovely to know. At school, everyone's lives are so entangled that it's almost crazy to imagine that when we graduate from there, the turns that life takes and how lives bifurcate and become different. So take me through your life. Once you got out of Mayo and then you did your college, did you make up your mind already about getting into policing?
For me, my parents, as you know, my father was teaching in Mayo Boys, and I would come over first. But I used to be in school since the morning till the evening. I would go back after dinner. So literally, my entire day was spent out there. And when it came to the fact that you're asking me about policing, I always wanted to do civil services.
Right.
I mean, this was something which back, I think, in class 7th, I met one of my father's friends. He was in foreign services. So he was the one who first introduced me to what civil services is about, and we spoke at length about what his job was, what kind of career was it, and what satisfaction he got out of it. I mean, so that was my first brush with civil services. And after that, when I joined college, two of my very close friends, their fathers were retired as DGPs of their respective states. So, the interaction with them, and I always was interested in doing something wherein I can give back to the society.
Yeah.
So I thought that civil services is a very good platform, and that is how I got interested basically, in taking the exam. And by God's grace, I cleared it. And yes, policing always excited me because of the uniform. donning the uniform is gives you a different sense of there's a pride attached to it,
Absolutely.
and there is also a kind of an aura around the uniform,
Correct.
which
Yes.
whenever you see somebody, automatically your heart is full. I mean, that is what I've always felt whenever I don the uniform. So yes, policing was something I wanted to get into. The elite services, I mean, UPSC, clearing the civil services, they are the elite services of the country,
Right.
and thankfully by God's grace and parents' blessings I was able to do it. So here I am,
And extreme hard work,
of
extreme
course.
hard work from your end,
Of
because I
course.
know it's very difficult, and I know people who try for years and years before they can get somewhere. And for you to have managed it in, like, a short span and then continued on your path, I think hats off to you already. That's brilliant. So it's interesting that you mentioned how you were very interested about police uniforms, because when I was researching about you, I read a very interesting thing that you kind of regulated the police uniforms as well. So how did that happen?
Our men, we have people who have to work. Our men have to work in the field for 24 hours into 365 days. 365 days. There is no break as such for police people.
Right.
So kind of
Yeah.
uniform they're wearing, we need to provide them with functional uniforms.
Yeah.
Whatever they're wearing, they have to suit the weather. They have to suit their. And another thing is that our uniforms generally, basically for city patrol unit, I had designed the uniforms, and the entire unit, the idea and how it was executed, that was all my efforts. So
Yeah.
for them, with the uniforms, basically what kind of uniforms they would wear, what all would it have, the kind of pockets, basically designing it with the idea of giving maximum comfort to them, at the same time allowing them to be hands free.
Wow.
Because they have to carry their challan books, they have to carry walkie-talkie sets, they have to carry a lot of things.
Yeah.
So you just have two hands and 10, five fingers.
Yeah.
So you really can't manage all of it in hand. So with that viewpoint, the uniform was designed. And apart from that, yes, we also focused on the women who are a part of the services. For them also, we require certain changes in the uniform. So that is what I was a part of. And yes, I did try to contribute my bit to it.
Wow. Like you said rightly, that, there's a sense of pride that comes with the uniform. And for that to be comfortable for our civil servants, that would be like a number one priority. That seems like such an important, fundamental, like a very foundational thing to have fixed. So, which is, it's quite cool. If I ask you, what is your day like? How do you go about your day? What happens in your day?
Shruti, I really cannot give you an answer for that, because believe me, the kind of service I am in, every day is different.
Uh-huh.
Every hour is different. We are literally, there are times when you would feel that, okay, I have prepared, tomorrow my day is going to be like that.
Yeah.
And suddenly it will be all reversed, because there would be something or the other, some challenge which would have come up. You'll have to go and face it, especially during the field days. I mean, I was never sure where I would be the next hour, because it was like you get up in the morning. Generally we used to go for parade, like Friday. If I tell you a typical Friday of a police officer who's setting it.
Yeah.
Morning, we wake up, we go to the police lines, and the entire force on Friday collects together, and they are basically they perform the parade. There is drills which take place.
Right.
And you're supposed to supervise that. Then you take a line of the police lines. I mean, you take a round of the police lines. After that, you head to the office, and then you meet the public. The next, you don't know if there's a law and order situation, you'll have to run there. If there's a crime happening, and no day goes without crime. Every day there's something or the other happening. You're literally running everywhere, going and seeing what is happening, directing people, giving them guidance as to how to deal with a particular crime, or how to deal with this law and order situation. Or
Right.
you're mostly on your phone.
Right.
So it's like, you don't have time to even think that, okay, when will I have my next meal? So most of the time, what most of us do is that we carry, fruits, or we would carry something along with us, that, okay, wherever you can eat something, or when we move out of the house, you would always eat and move out, because you don't know where and when your next meal would be. So
Wow.
that is the kind of service I am in,
Yeah.
where, there are so many challenges. There are so many, this thing. I'll tell you an interesting story. What happened that when I was there, I barely used to get time. So
Right.
one day my son really complained, and he said that he was very small at that time, that Mama, we don't go anywhere, you don't take me anywhere. So I decided along with him and my one of my junior colleagues' wife, we all decided that okay, let's go somewhere today for a change. We'll go for a picnic.
Hmm.
Believe me, we left. We reached halfway. A crime happened, and I had to carry both these people along with me to the crime scene.
Oh
And
no.
my son and my friend, I mean the junior's wife, they were so disappointed. They said, "Ma'am, we'll never go out with you." So that's how the life is, and that is how the work schedule is. That you never know. You plan for something, and something else will happen,
Yeah.
and then you'll have to take care of that. Yeah.
Then what keeps you going? You know, because it is a tough life. And what you're describing, I'm sure, is not even 1% of what the hardships that you actually go through. So if today any of the Mayo girls who are still in school or just out of school, or, the young people are listening and they are wondering, because now one has so many options. So it's interesting to know that despite all the hardships, you're so passionate about it. So where does one, yes, is the love for the country and the love to make that change. But where does that passion come from?
See, it has to come from inside. And the other thing I feel is the fact that if you want to really do something and you want to you want to make a change in people's lives,
Yeah.
believe me, these are the services to be in. You can touch so many lives with one go.
Hmm.
One decision of yours impacts the entire district. So the
Yeah.
kind of change bearer you can be, I think no other service will give you that. No other platform gives you that. You may work in an NGO, you may head an NGO, you may do charity, you may work in HR department, or you may end up doing very well in other fields.
Yeah.
But the number of people and the kind of people you are touching,
Hmm.
you would end up in, and the horizon this service gives you.
Yeah.
You meet people from the the lowest strata of life to the highest. No other, believe me, no other service gives you that option. I will end up meeting with a beggar on the road and change his life. At the same time, I also get to interact with the president and the prime minister of the country. So you understand this vast expanse of people you're dealing with,
Yeah.
and the kind of experiences, the humbling experiences which come with it, they're life changers. And it is for this very reason that somebody who really feels that they can make a change, they should join this. We as youngsters, often I've seen them saying that, oh, nothing is happening, nobody is doing anything,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes.
So we should be the ones who should bring about the change. For that, you need to be at the right place.
Correct.
And little things, it is, even if you do a small thing, it'll end up impacting a lot of people. So these are the services to be in. Earlier there were so many Mayoites who were there in all India services.
Hmm.
Now I see that the number has gone down. I would sincerely tell everyone that if you are planning to get into government services, and if you even think about it,
Hmm.
this is the place to be.
You answered something which I was already about to ask you, and you said it so nicely, because you're right that when people sit, with the amount of things that are happening all around us, when you listen to the news, or when it's very easy to sit in a party and pretend to be very, pseudo intellectual about it and talk about change. But it's a very different thing to actually be at that position and to work towards that position to be able to make that change. So if someone wants to get started, if somebody who's listening to us and right now got fully inspired listening to you talk and going, I want to get into this, how do I get about it? Like, how do I actually go?
Yeah, you can see the UPSC website. You can see that. Plus, if you'll Google around, you'll get to know that there have been certain changes.
Yeah.
The UPSC conducts the exam, All India Service exams. There is
Yeah.
now, earlier there used to be two optional subjects which one had to take apart from the general studies. Now they have added, apart from general studies, you have only one optional subject,
Mm.
and you have other papers plus a reasoning test which they have added on to it. See, for this exam, the kind of the way Mayo girls actually, the way they educated us,
Yeah.
I think most of the things you end up learning, it is basically what you learn in school and what you learn in college. That is what the entire syllabus revolves around. So
Right.
it is not really tough. What it requires is consistency.
Hmm. Correct.
You need discipline and consistency, and you choose a subject which you really like, which interests you, because you may not get selected at the first attempt. You may have to try for it again.
Yeah.
So you'll have to reread the same syllabus. So whatever subject you choose as your optional, that has to be something which really interests you. Like in my case, I had psychology till in class 12th, 11th, 12th, and I had history as in my college. I majored in history. So these two subjects were something which I felt that I'll never get bored reading them. I can go on and on and on. I can, read it again and again. So
Right.
that was the reason for me selecting these subjects. So I always feel that you should go whenever you're trying for this exam, take up the subject which you really like and read. If you are an avid reader, if you read newspapers regularly, if you follow news regularly,
Yeah.
believe me, half your work is done. I mean, this exam is a cakewalk if you are hardworking and disciplined, and you are an avid reader.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So now let's get a little deeper into your experience, because you've been now in the services for a long time. It's long enough to know that passion isn't just everything. There'll be competition. There will be people who might want to stand up like a wall against, not let you succeed, and yet you have to. Have you ever noticed that gender has come in the middle of that? How most industries are changing. Do you think, like, even in the civil services, have you noticed that change where initially if men were preferred, and did you have a tough time getting into it versus now how it is?
Of course. I mean, there has been a change when I entered into, I'll tell you a very basic thing. When I entered into the service as the ASP, young ASP in Uttarakhand, Canada,
Yeah.
we realized that there were, toilets were not there in every police station for women. Something as basic as that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens if we don't have something as basic as that? Where does the girl go?
Yeah.
We want women to come in police. We want them to be a part because they're more humane and they have a different approach towards dealing with people. But we are not giving them, basic needs. So these things, of course, exist. This is just one side I'm telling you about.
Yeah.
Apart from that, the fact that you see the number of women officers who are heading the police station, or the number of women officers who are heading the district, those numbers have changed since the time we have come into service. In fact, when I joined the civils, when I joined IPS, we were 25 of us, 25 girls amongst 99 of us total. So you can, and that was the largest number of girls at that time in Indian police service.
Wow.
So
Okay.
but now the numbers have gone up. We have
Right.
more and more girls coming into police service. Similarly, Uttarakhand was the first state in the country to have a woman DGP.
Right.
So
Wow.
yeah, so and the fact that I got chance as the capital's SSP, and for 2.5 years, at the longest tenure I got in the capital. But when I had joined initially, there were certain apprehensions, whether you'll be able to do it, if you can do it or not.
Yeah.
It doesn't, actually, what happens is that basically we are a reflection of what the society is.
True.
A lot has to change in the society also right now.
Correct.
It's not balanced anywhere. Even if you go into the corporate world, you'll realize that, gender equality is still where we still have to achieve it. It doesn't really exist right now also.
Correct.
We have miles to go.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing, basically it's a reflection of the society. So that is the same thing, which is the case here also. But we have moved a lot. I feel that there have been, slowly there has been an increase in the number of women we are hiring, plus the facilities which are being given to them. Like when we joined in 2008, there was nothing called childcare leave. Okay,
Right.
we had only maternity leave. Now there is, the government has gotten childcare leave, realizing that women also have to play the role of caretaker, and they are the caregivers for their children.
Correct.
So now you have a 2-year childcare leave also for women.
Yeah.
So the government is working on it. The people are aware that we want the majority. A section which forms 48% of your population. If you want them to come up and you want the society to develop on a whole, you'll have to give them the opportunities.
Correct.
And you have to leave. What is equality? Equality is that you leave no one behind. And how do you leave no one behind? You have to work on it.
Yeah.
And we are all working on it. You have to invest in better conditions for women. And that is what is happening now. I mean, you have toilets, something as basic as a toilet facility. It is there everywhere in all police stations. So officers do look at it, and that is how, that is how change brings about. Yes,
Correct.
we are slow in this thing. It's not as fast as, you would say that, okay, we come up with a policy today and tomorrow it is done.
Yeah.
It takes time, but we are working towards it.
Right. So, see, you're the perfect person actually to talk about this change because, like you said, society on a whole needs to do this. Yes, correct. But sometimes we already feel that, hey, this is going to be difficult for me. So why take it up? So a lot of girls who might be thinking that, saying, already life might be tough. Now, if I go into the sector of civil service as a career, what are those two negative points and two positive points that are there to get into civil services as a woman?
For me, I would say that I'll not give you two negative points. What I'll say is that, see, no job would things always be very good. Okay, and nor would you get all what you want in one job.
Yeah.
See, so in civil services, yes, work-life balance is something that when you try to achieve it, it is heavily favored in terms of work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your personal life, definitely it suffers. But believe me, if you ask a CEO of a bank or you ask a CEO of a company, for them also work-life balance, work
It
gets
always
a
trumps. Yes.
priority.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, the scales are the same everywhere.
Correct. Correct.
The advantage with this service is the number of people you touch, is the kind of the satisfaction which it will give you. Okay,
Yeah.
that will be much different than any other job.
Yeah.
I still remember when there was this lady whose son was kidnapped.
Oh,
Child was kidnapped. It took us 14 days to recover that child.
wow.
Okay, but once we recovered the child and I handed over the child to her, her eyes said it all.
Yeah.
And the way she was thankful to me, people still remember you for the deeds you have
Correct.
done, and they keep coming back to you. It all comes back to you. And I genuinely believe in this, that if you do good, good will come back to you. And they remember you and they say that, oh, आपने ये चीज किया था, आपने मेरी ऐसे मदद की थी. So that is something which is with that no one can take it away from you, na. Matlab, that is your wealth.
True. Can never put a price on gratitude. Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that
Yeah.
is, I mean, that is something which you will get in other jobs. I'll not say that you will not get, but the amount and the number would be much
Yeah.
more in this service.
Wow. I'm getting goose flesh listening to you right now. Like, I'm almost like, I'm sure you have so many such wonderful stories of actually helping people in the real terms of what help truly means. So, which is absolutely like, it's just amazing to talk to you about it. But now going forward, what is your vision? I wouldn't go so far to say for the country, but I know that, a person like you would constantly be figuring out what's next, how to fix, how to improve, how to bring that next change. So what's on your horizon currently? What is your mind space occupied with?
Tough question, because there's so many things which go in, I'm like, I want to do this also, I want to do that also.
True.
I'm constantly wanting to do something or the other. But as of
Yeah.
now, I would say that I'm focusing more on myself. I have thought about that in the next stage, maybe I would take up something in train and something which would enhance my skills
Yeah.
and would help me in contributing better towards my job. And
Yeah.
because thankfully, as I was saying, that the kind of exposure this service gives you, there are certain scholarships for us which we can apply for, and the government of India pays for you studying. It pays for you to, go abroad and up whatever course you want to. And government of India also, pays for all the adventures in life that you want to undertake. If you want to take up some new study, and if you want to work on something else, as of now, that is what I'm contemplating as to how to not become intellectually stunted and move forward.
Wow. That's quite a personal goal. And I'm pretty sure it's going to set you up and you're going to bring some major change, which we completely look forward to. And in whatever way, Mayo is like right behind you. We're all there for you in whichever way we can assist you. Please, like, just reach out and everybody's there with you.
Thank you. Yeah,
It has been so fantastic and very enlightening to talk to you. You know, it gives it, just you casually talking has given me so many reality checks in life, that the amount that I'm getting to learn just listening to you, I think that itself is priceless. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for taking our time to chat with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity of interacting and putting forth my voice and sharing my views. Thank you so much. It was indeed lovely talking to you.